Hey everyone, welcome back to the next video in a series where I take a look at some of the coolest, albeit expensive, assets on the Unreal Marketplace for Unreal Engine. Today we're going to be taking a look at a cool asset pack called Sci-Fi Fighter. It is a really cool 3D character that has been done up with some awesome materials and just a whole lot of cool stuff going on in this one. I have actually even used this one in a couple of my pieces of artwork. I'll show them here. And I also used this in one of my pieces that actually won a large community worldwide challenge for 3D, and I took 4th place in. So let's dive right into the asset and take a closer look at what you get as part of this asset pack. Very quickly here, we are actually going to show off the actual product page here on the Unreal Marketplace. Like I said, it is called Sci-Fi Fighter. It is pretty expensive. I don't know the exact price as I have already bought it, but I did catch it during a sale, so it's a great time to get some stuff on the Unreal Marketplaces during the big sales. A lot of times 50 up to 70% off or so. So make sure you check it out. This is a quick little overview. They got some beautiful screenshots here. Believe it or not, I want to say these are actually rendered in engine in Unreal because the sample levels that you get in the package actually look very similar to this. So you can flip through here, tons of different cool options and skins and so forth. He's got a little bit of information here. There's also a sample video that you can go and check out on his YouTube channel. Lots of cool details and features here. It's a high quality character, customizable materials with tinting and so forth. There's looks like 18 different skins. The model is pretty detailed, fairly high poly, especially for Unreal Engine like a character. There's also a couple accessory slots for like a cow and a bee version. We'll take a look at those. And there's a couple different levels to kind of show it off. I want to say it's the Epic Skeleton for 5.0. It does not come with any animations. And as I mentioned, there's several materials and so forth. High quality textures. It is super good. So let's take a look at the actual project now. So here we are in a blank project that I've added it to, and the opening level here is called the lineup level. This is going to list out all of the different characters and skins and everything that you get. Like I said, it's basically one character with a couple different variations, but then a ton of different actual skins and materials. So this very first one here is actually kind of shows you what you could do, and you could attach a unique head. So it does not come with an actual like physical head inside of the actual mask. Most of the time the mask is actually covered in non-translucent, but they do offer actually a translucent version here and like a little dummy head in there. But say you wanted to slap in a metahuman or something like that, you could definitely do that. You would just edit the blueprint and socket in a metahuman head into that. Next, let's move on here. So there's a couple different types of materials and skins that you can get. These are like non-customizable versions of it. So basically you're just gonna kind of drag and drop them and get them in, and you can use them as is. A couple cool variations there. Then you definitely have a full set of customizable ones here. So going to quickly just kind of run through and show you some of the different materials here. So there's kind of like a black, a gray, silver, a little bit of blue, some white, and each one of these actually has a variant on the helmet. So there's basically 2 material slots for the character. One is the main body, and the next is the actual helmet. So you can always switch out and swap the different helmets to match. So if you wanted, say, this helmet here, but on this type of body color, you can easily do that. And most all of these will let you go right on in and change the colors too, which is really cool. We'll dive into the material a little bit here. It is a excellent, one of the best materials I've ever seen inside of Unreal Engine. Tons of options and adjustabilities. It's really cool. So you got kind of this red style here. So you can see some of these, they call them, he has names for, like this would be like a storm style. I want to say this is crimson. Yep. And it's got a cool green material, and you can see there's like some cool graffiti going on these. There's a repair style and a yellow, a medic, police, and so forth. Then you get to some pretty cool like metallic type versions. So this would be like a silver metallic, a gold metallic. Then we kind of get into some of the wild and crazy colors here. Pretty cool, like purples and pinks and checkerboard, and just a purple pink offset there. And then there's also 2 options. This just definitely makes me think of like more of like Fortnite or something of that sort. So there's two material or actual sockets on the mesh that you can use for these cow pieces and the actual bumblebee style. The skins are really cool, kind of go well with it. But if you're looking to do a pretty cool custom character, you can definitely do that. And then these are all the same type of setup back here, but just in a different pose, kind of show off the pose, and you can go in through the materials and so forth. Another really cool option is it's actually already set up as a third person blueprint. So if I go ahead and do play, you can see my third person character here is already set up as the model. It's got all the basic third person animations that you typically get, but this is already set up and kind of ready for you. So you could easily drop in any of these different skins or skeletal meshes into this and be able to use it right away for a game if you wanted. Obviously add your own custom animations in your own environment, but a really nice, super detailed model, and it's ready to go on the third person blueprint already. Next, if we pull up the content drawer here, you can see basically you get this folder called CHA Fighter, and it's all subdivided up into other folders here. So it's really nice, really organized, super clean and easy to get to. I'm going to go under maps real quick. And so basically the map that we have taken a look at so far is called lineup. And there's also another map called full front and another one called portrait. These are both basically just two little maps that you kind of show off the character under some really good lighting. So there's two different types. I'm going to show you the portrait one first real quick, just so you can see that one. So let's hop into the portrait here. And you can see it's another little HDR environment with the character set up here. And if we go ahead, you can see there's a cinematic camera. So let's hop into the camera here. It's a pretty cool, nice portrait shot here of the actual character. One thing that you can do here is on your outliner, you can see here that this has actually all the different characters are in there. So if we select those and then hide them, because they're basically stacked all on top of each other, we can kind of show them one by one. So as you go through this here, you can actually start to hide and show the different skins. Just a really cool, neat setup here. So it looks really nice, good cinematic camera and lighting and HDR. It looks pretty good. A cool way to kind of just get an overview of the different characters and what you have going in the scene. So let's hop on over to the other map there, because I kind of like this one a little bit better. This is called the full front. Same type of thing, HDRI, and it's got a couple lights here and a couple lighting blockers here. So let's hop into our camera again, and this is going to give us a more full body type camera shot. Same type of setup here. So on the outliner, you can come over here and select all of the characters and hide them one by one. And so, like I said, you can go through and easily check these guys out. And man, the lighting is good. This is all done in real time here. I have it at, let's take a quick look. Let's go to our scalability. I'm going to set it to cinematic, and let's make sure our screen percentage is set all the way up. So it just looks super, super nice. We'll hide our stuff there pressing G. And I mean, you can see the character self is really, really nice. And let's go through, let's flip through a few of these, some different tints, some green colors. This is like a lighter gray or a blue. That's a kind of a light blue there. We got the white. I like the white. It looks pretty cool, especially with the helmets kind of customized with some eyeball looking stuff on there. Same thing with the desert one, looks super cool. Crimson, there's a cool overlord like green. And I like this one because it's got, kind of reminds me of the Crunch, I believe it is, on the Paragon asset pack. It's got all the cool graffiti on it and the green color. Really nice setup. And like I said, all of these materials and skins come included in the pack. So tons of options, and you can change these to your heart's desire. We will jump into that here real quick. So repair guy, a medic, obviously it's a lady, there's police, just a cool silver metal, cool gold setup. And then you get into some of the fun colors, the purple and checkerboard, and you can do different patterns and stuff. It is really neat. The cow looks pretty cool, and the bumblebee there also looks really, really neat. And like I said, if we hop out, you can kind of come in here and you can see like up close, these are pretty well done. The mesh isn't crazy high poly, but it is actually pretty nice, fairly dense. You know, it's a good AAA quality style character. definitely could be used inside of a game and or even a cinematic, and both look good. And like I said, I'll probably toss up a few different renders that I've used this in personally, plus I've used it in a couple animations and stuff. So definitely some cool ways that you can use it. Let's hop over into detail lighting. You can see here just really good detail. The normal maps are good. The textures are great. I think everything is either 4K or 8K. I have to double check on that there. We'll take a look, but just looks super good. Everything is good in path tracing, lumen, ray tracing, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and hop in and take a look at the actual contents that you get as part of this asset pack here. So under accessories, there are a couple things here. This is where you'll find the bee and the cow accessories that you could add on to the character. These have actual physics, assets, and skeletal meshes and stuff that you could add on. So if you wanted to have a different style of skin and stuff, but still use those two pieces, you can definitely do that. And I think because they're physics assets, I think some of the parts move and jiggle a little bit as you walk and so forth. And the materials are set up in there also. Next, you have your blueprints. So under blueprints, these are several different types of blueprints that you can go through, and they allow you to customize some of the different stuff. Some of these are just set up as poses and skins and so forth. You also get the blueprint for a customizable gun that you can attach to the character. It doesn't shoot or fire or do anything like that, but it definitely includes that, which is pretty cool because a lot of your asset packs don't include any type of props. And this one's a pretty decent prop with matching skins for all of the different skins there. So it looks pretty cool. And of course, this also will have your, I want to say is the third person blueprint in here. I'm not sure if the third person blueprint is in here, but that one is definitely included. Let's go under default content. I think this is just some basic stuff. Yeah, this is where the mannequin and third person blueprint stuff is. Under maps, we took a look at the 3 different maps that come with it. And then under resources, that's just the contents used to create the maps there. And let's go under our materials section. So actually, let's go back real quick. So under our meshes, this is our primary mesh here. There's the fake head. There's the lens piece for the translucency part. There's the helmet part and the gun. And like I said, your main skeletal mesh there that shares all the nice rigging and weight painting and so forth. And then under textures, let's take a quick look here. Yeah, so they're using virtual textures. So you do have to make sure virtual textures is turned on and supported inside of your project, because these are going to be pretty large actual textures. So it looks like basically they are 4K because they are 28672 by 4096, but that's several materials inside of the one there. So basically they look like 4K textures, which is perfectly good for cinematics and in-game stuff. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the materials here. So I'm going to go into the material, and there's a couple different sections here. So there's some basic materials there that you could use. Then there's also a LOD system set up for materials that you can take a look at, but this we're under the actual armor section here. So under armor, let's take a look. So there's a couple of these that say non-tint, and those you can't really tint or change the color of specifically. So we're going to go under one that actually does have the primary tinting color. And I'm going to choose this green one here. And what we're going to do is hop back into, I'm going to disconnect here just a little bit here so we can see our character still. And I'm going to go ahead and let's see, where's our green one? Let's show our green one so we can kind of see. Okay, so on our green character here, if I open up the material, we can take a look here. So tons and tons of options, as I mentioned before. Super customizable. It's really nice. I would say this looks like it's probably done in Substance Painter, and all the masking and everything has been transferred over, and it just looks really well done. The guy that made this, he's definitely spent a ton of time working on the materials and making it look super nice. The character itself is really good, but the materials is what really makes this. So you can see here under the armor section, you have a base color amount, and there's also a gradient color. So you kind of get this two-tone gradient color effect. So I'm just going to play around here. We're going to make that a nice bright red there. And then you can see if we choose this other gradient here, it's just real subtle there towards the bottom. And it does this little bit of gradient. That way it's not just a super solid color, which is a pretty cool effect there. There's also an armor pattern that you can turn on and off. So that's how you can get that cool checkered board effect. You can also change that up to a bunch of different styles. You want to do kind of a camo look material, you can easily do that. It's a really cool feature that lets you add a pattern into the armor. So if you want to customize that and not just have it a solid color, you can do that. It's pretty neat. You can affect all the different settings there. You can see here under the pattern, you can adjust the tiling, the contrast, the offset, and so forth. You can do all of that right there in material. Next, you have the armor gradient contrast. So let's just pick a bright blue here so we can kind of see. So you got that pink to blue kind of going on. And as you use the actual contrast, you can see how that will be affecting, the contrast difference of the fall off of the two gradients. And then you also have the blur amount, so you can adjust that blur. So it's just kind of like the fade distance between those, I believe. So a really cool effect. We're going to undo those. So you can also do turn to metal. So by doing the turn to metal, it gives it more of that metallic sheen and look to it, which is pretty cool. So you get much better like styled reflections and so forth on it. Looks really, really good. I'm going to turn that back off. This is also, the armor damage. So you can't really see it on the character right now, but if you look here on the sphere, you can see it's basically like a wear and tear of the armor damage. And you can do that, I think, also with the roughness, you might see a little bit. No, general roughness overall. But the damage you can see is kind of like the wear and tear area of the actual metal material. So pretty cool effects there. The next section we have here is called metal. So this is these accent pieces here that just kind of look like raw metal. You can go in and adjust the colors of those. Same type of ordeal as the actual armor piece up top. You have the gradient section, so it's kind of got a two-tone color. You can do a pattern on there and you can adjust the contrast and blur of that. Next, we have the paint section. So there's a couple different settings here. So you can come in and adjust the actual paint and material of, you can see if we can get to a different part here where you can see it. So there's some stuff here on the back, like little painted areas. You can see now it's blue, and we can set it to yellow. Let's do bright green. So this is like a little paint section that you can use as just another little accent part as part of the armor. It's super, super cool. These areas are all masked out and easy to adjust. So you get the same type of effects there. You got your patterns and gradients and so forth. And same thing, another detail pass on top of that. Next section you have is our actual fabrics. So that would be the clothing fabric section. You'll see it mainly down here on the legs. Let's set that to, let's just do a bright red so we can keep it separated there. So you get all the same adjustments as all the other ones, but on top of just the fabric only, which is really cool. You get a fabric detail pass. Next, you have pads. So under pads here, you can see the actual, let's boost this up. This is going to be the padding part of the actual clothing part, the arms and legs and so forth, but it's like this little padded area. Super cool. So it's like another masked out section, same type of adjustments. And then you also get a rubber section here too. So under the rubber section, we can see this is basically the third final part of the actual clothing area. So another great spot that you can make some crazy adjustments there. We're getting a little wild on our colors, but we need to be able to see and separate some of these areas. Next, we have the small decals. So you can see there's a bunch of little decal areas or decal spots all over this particular character. So the actual decals, so there's small decals, there's big decals, and we can come in and these are like kind of predefined here. So the armor decals, let's take a look here and see if we can get some color out of these. So you can see there is a small section of little decals down here. So the serial number and so forth there. And you can see as we adjust those, we're adjusting those small little decals. And it's crazy because it's just these little tiny details and you can go in and adjust all the colors for it. There's a pads color, there's a rubber color, and there's a pipes line color. So these are all different little color adjustments that you can come in and change the settings of as part of the decal section. So there's decals on top of each one of these different areas, and that'll go in and adjust that and change it. It's pretty wild. I really love all the adjustments. So it's like you're not just getting a character and it's gonna look the same for everybody else. You can literally go in and start adjusting these materials to your heart's content. Next, you also have the big decals section, and under the big decals, same type of thing. You're going to start affecting some of these larger ones here. These are all set up by basically, you can turn them on and off. So if you want to use a decal section, because there's different color channels that are being used for the decals, so you can actually turn those off and then say whatever the red channel is of that particular mask. We're going to set that to a bright green here and see what we get. That may or may not actually be using anything specific on this one. Oh, no, I think it's this guy here, this CR2. So you can see, yep. So the CR2, that's basically coming in this mask as the red channel. So you could come in here and say, I don't want to use the actual red channel. I don't like those particular decals. You can turn those off. So you also have a green channel and a blue channel, same type of setup. You can come in here and adjust those. So let's see if we can see what the blue channel is here. Not seeing it offhand, but oh, yeah, it's all on. So yeah, some of these might be, they may not even utilize all the different sections on some of the skins particularly, but you can come in here and adjust those. Really, really cool. Love all that setup. There's also a magenta channel that you can change. You can turn off the actual full decals. So you want no decals at all for those big ones. You can easily turn those all off. And there's a couple other adjustments there. There is a dust layer. So you can turn on the dust layer, which I believe is already on. However, you can turn those on, and then you can go through and you can actually start to make some adjustments to the actual dust. Let's see if we can make it a little more visible. So the dust layer is, let's take a look here. Are we getting any dust? It does show that it's on. We may not be seeing it in this particular setup here, but there is a, oh, there we go. So you can see that dust kind of on top there. It's real subtle, but this is, there you go. Pretty wild looking. I don't know if you would necessarily use the dust for this particular thing because it's probably only based on your top layer there, but just another way that you can modify it. It looks crazy. It also does have the fuzz material like set up in the material, so that kind of gives you that actual like cloth looking fuzziness around the edges, which works pretty good. And then you also have some settings for the LODs there. So that's going to do it, guys. This is a pretty quick little overview of this asset pack called Sci-Fi Fighter on the Unreal Marketplace. I'll leave links down in the description below if you want to check it out. It is pretty expensive, but I've bought a lot of really good assets off the marketplace, and I've bought some not so good assets. So I spend a lot of time and money going through checking these different asset packs out. So you guys don't have to. I want to do some reviews about them, show you ins and outs of them. A lot of times you see really cool pictures and renders, and sometimes they're not even rendered in Unreal. So you see these videos and you see different ways that they show them off, and some assets don't even give you that. So this is a chance for you guys to kind of check them out, see them in person, in engine, in real time, so we can look at them, go over the features and customize them, maybe check out some of the things that aren't so good about it. But this one here is an excellent asset. Maybe not worth the money for some people, but for me, especially when it was on sale, perfect asset pack. I do a lot of sci-fi stuff. The character is great. The materials are amazing. Just absolutely incredible material setup. And you can go in, you can customize it. I still have some projects I want to work on with this one. I want to take and do a metahuman underneath the helmet. I want to do some better cinematics. And like I said, I'll toss in some stuff that I've done with this particular character. So make sure you check out some of the stuff down below. I'll leave the links down there. And make sure you check out my new website called createunreal.com. Really cool place to get a bunch of resources, tips, tricks, videos, doing asset reviews, and a little sneak peek. I'm actually working on a potential game idea. So if you hop on over there, and go up to the top menu bar there and click on games and go to Fractal Maze. It is a kind of a cool idea that I have running in my head. So we're gonna see if we can make this happen. It's I'm not an actual game programmer or anything of that sort. I've mainly just used Unreal for cinematics and so forth. But I think I got something pretty cool going on there. So make sure you get a chance to check that out. Also, I'm going to leave down in the description links to my Patreon. I really appreciate everything that you guys do and all your support. I've had so many people mention to me over the past, hey man, you need to set up a Patreon. I would love to see, get exclusive content and so forth. So I got some really cool stuff on my Patreon that you can get a hold of. I have sample packs of pretty much all of my actual photo scanned packs that I put on the marketplace. So you can hop in and get little sample packs of those. I have some custom materials and some different things and a lot more to come with that. So make sure you check it out. I really appreciate your guys' support. I get it. Everybody's always asking for money these days, but this is my full-time job now, doing Unreal Engine stuff, client work, things like that. So you guys really help make that happen. Let me know what kind of asset packs you'd like to see me review in the comments down below. Maybe I can check out some of the stuff you guys are looking at buy or purchase, but haven't quite made it because you're not too sure about it yet. I have a lot of these asset packs myself already. So, check it out and leave it down in the description. I'll see what I can do. Until next time, I appreciate all the support. Peace out.